Welcome into Undisputed. I'm Jen Hale here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Hi, guys.
Good morning. Good morning.
So now, Shannon Sharp, you have two teams who are stuck with Russ. You have your Broncos and your Lakers are stuck with Russ. Congratulations.
But the Broncos in more trouble because they're stuck with Russ for at least 4 more years. The Lakers can get out the.
Oh, that's true, and they don't have the phony goat.
No, they got it real. They got it real. Well, we got a couple of goats up there. We had Elway and we had Manny. So we got two goats.
I thought you were going to say Elway and Sharp.
No, Elway and Manny. We got two goats in the mile.
Okay. All right.
And, of course, our Shannon Sharp and our Mark Schlereth.
Yeah.
Lots of great ones all the way around. But, guys, that game last night, Russell Wilson and the Broncos lost to the Chargers 19-16 in OT. They're now 2-4 on the season. The Broncos had 3 possessions when they were tied at 16, but each one ended in a punt. Wilson had just under 190 yards for 1 touchdown. Shannon, how much blame does Russell Wilson deserve for last night's loss?
A lot, a considerable amount, the lion's share of it. Because, again, last night he was terrible. And now they're coming out talking about he might have had a hamstring issue. It seems like every time he plays bad, he comes up with an issue, Skip. If you think about it, a couple of weeks ago, he had the lat. He had very similar to Dak Prescott. Last night, his hamstring bothered him. What does that have to do with his decision-making? There are several times he has the tight end right in his line of sight.
He did.
Just dump the ball to the tight end. That got nothing to do with the lat. That has nothing to do with his hamstring.
Nope.
Russell Wilson is not seeing the field very well. He's playing even worse than he's seeing the field.
That's
and
true.
I don't know what kind of protection they got going on, Skip, where they just allow men to run scot-free up the middle of the field. Either change the protection, go rip or Liz, go Liz or rip, or you gap protected where you block down and you turn the outside guys loose. Let them travel the farthest to get to your quarterback. Don't give Derwin James, don't give the middle backer a free shot or free run at your quarterback. Russ, what are you doing? Do you not see them like, oh, man, I might need to redirect this protection. Hey, instead of we got a right call on, let's go Liz.
Yep.
Slide the line to the left, turn the back, send the back to the right, and block it up like that. Skip, he's playing bad. $245 million, this is what it's gotten him. 5 touchdown passes in 6 games. He's 30th in completion percentage. The worst scoring offense in the NFL. 15 points a game. That defense is good enough to have won 5 of those ball games.
I'll buy that.
They're 4th in scoring defense, considering they're getting nothing, absolutely nothing from their offense.
Yep.
And they're still giving up 16.5 points a game. No Randy Gregory. Ronald Darby's down. They played a rookie last night, and he got it handed to him. It's trial by fire. He had 4 pass interference. They're a very undisciplined team. They're leading the league in penalties. They had another 150 yards last night. The thing you had.
Coaching.
You either coach it or condone it.
You do.
That's it. The 2 C's. You coaching it or you condoning it.
Yeah.
Now, which is it? How do you put a stop to it? Or when are you going to put a stop to it? But Russell Wilson, Skip, 7 drives after halftime, 6 punts and a field goal. And on the field goal, they didn't gain a yard because the Broncos D intercepted Herbert.
Well, they got 3 points after half.
Yeah,
right?
3 points, yeah. But I'm saying they had 6 punts, 1 field goal.
6 punts. I think
6 punts. No,
okay.
6 punts.
Okay.
1 field goal, 0 yards that was set up by an interception.
And Russ's stats in the second half and overtime were?
3 of 11 for 15 yards.
Say that again. 3 of 11 for 15 yards?
I don't give a damn if he ain't got but 1 leg. He should have completed more than 3 passes for 11 yards. 15 yards. Skip, this is embarrassing. This is an embarrassing. And that's why I didn't go to the game. This is exactly why. Because this is bad. I don't know what's going on with Russ, but it seems like a man that has a lot of other things on his mind than football.
It does.
That's just me personally. I could be wrong, but this is not. I've never seen Russell Wilson play this bad in my entire life. Not as a rookie, not as a 3rd year, not as a sophomore slump, not as a 5-year vet, not even last year, Skip, when he was down.
He was down.
Russell never looked this bad. He looks downright awful.
I'm going to see you, and I'm going to raise you. They gave 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, a 5th-round pick, and had to extend them, as you just pointed out, for 5 years and $243 million, $161 guaranteed million.
Yeah. And they got Noah Fan out of the deal, and they got Shelby Harris, who was starting for the Broncos. Yes.
They got them, and Drew Lock, I thought was going to start, but guess what happened?
Geno.
Out of nowhere, Geno happened.
Geno playing better than Russ.
He's playing better than Russ. Seattle has a 1-game record better than the Broncos.
Yeah.
They're 3-3. They're tied for first in their division. And Geno leads the league in completion percentage. He's 4th in QBR. He's graded by Pro Football Focus second only to Josh Allen among all quarterbacks in overall quarterback grade. That's phenomenal.
That's
I didn't see that one coming.
No, I don't think anybody saw that coming.
Okay, because I thought Drew Lock was going to be the starter. Silly me.
I didn't think Drew Lock could beat Geno out, Skip. I also thought they might go in another direction for a quarterback.
I did too.
But history says we've seen Geno. We've seen him, Skip. It's not like all of a sudden, where did Geno come from? Has he ever played football before? I know. We've seen his body of work. We've seen his resume, and it wasn't good.
It never looked like this.
Thank you.
But all of a sudden, the pressure was off in Seattle because nobody expected the Seahawks to do anything.
Correct.
All of a sudden, the pressure went mile high,
Yes.
for Russell Wilson. So here's my take on Russell Wilson. Once upon a time, he was an underrated, sort of overachieving third-round pick. Remember this?
Yep.
Out of Wisconsin via North Carolina State via baseball, where he tried minor league baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, out of nowhere, he rises up and wins the job. Remember this? And Pete Carroll closes his eyes and says, I'm going with Russell Wilson.
Right.
The undersized, what do we give him? Is he 6 feet? Maybe 6 feet.
Right.
And they had a little video of Elway hugging him. Elway looks like he's 6 inches taller than Russell Wilson. What do you give John? 6'4"?
He's 6'3".
Okay, 6'3".
Yeah.
The point is, I love that Russ because he was on a mission to show the NFL that it was underrating him.
Right.
It was undersizing him. It was not paying him the respect that he would earn from the NFL. And slowly but surely, he earned it. He earned it from his head coach. I'm not sure he ultimately earned it from his Legion of Boom defense, but that was the flashpoint issue. He was still very good playing the underdog quarterback.
Yeah, but you remember, Seattle in free agency plunged on Matt Flynn.
That's why I said Matt Flynn was there, and they paid Matt Flynn nothing like this.
Right, they gave him $20 million, which he was a career backup. He had an outstanding game, threw for over 480 yards against Detroit last game of the season. Green Bay, where he outgunned Matthew Stafford, who threw for over 500 yards in that game.
But Pete Carroll had the guts, had the vision.
He did.
To plunge and say, hey, I'm going with this kid because this kid's been around.
Right.
He was very mature for his age because he played minor league baseball and he'd been around. He'd been North Carolina State, Wisconsin.
Yep.
Played in a lot of big games. And all of a sudden, he takes over Seattle.
Right.
And he becomes the face of the franchise.
Correct.
But it was always as the underdog. I'm fighting for respect.
Right.
Even in my own locker room, I'm fighting for respect. Then he marries a celebrity, and all of a sudden, at some point, the arc changes because he goes over the edge into superstar.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a Skip. A professional athlete is one thing, but a celebrity, that's a fanfare. That's something entirely different. And very few NFL players ever enjoy that. Maybe a Brady comes to the top of my head. Like I said, Skip, even Peyton, but Brady had a supermodel also who's internationally acclaimed.
That is correct.
Sierra is internationally acclaimed.
Definitely.
So that's a whole different ball game.
Okay, so now Russ is going on age 34 on November 29th.
Playing like 44.
But he is. But the handwriting was, as you point out, it was really on the locker room wall a year ago in Seattle because Pro Football Focus graded him only the 20th best quarterback by the end of the year. And you could see his stats were starting to show a little wear and tear across the board.
Skip, you know what I think? I think last year, what caused the commotion is that Russ went to Seattle and wanted a contract extension, and they told him no. And when they told him no, that's when his agent put out there he would be interested in leaving and listed the 4 teams that he would be interested in leaving for.
Yep.
And the bridge never got repaired because they never gave him the contract extension.
Nope.
Lo and behold, fast forward, he wants out because they're not going to give him the contract extension. The Broncos is in dire strait of a quarterback, Skip. You know what they've had since Peyton Manning retired. But I tell you right now, he's not playing better than Brock Osweiler, Trevor Siemian, or Drew Lock. This play right here, right now, is worse than Brock Osweiler, Trevor Siemian, and Drew Lock.
Okay, I got it. But along that trail that you described, it felt like the Broncos took the Aaron Rodgers bait because they went out and hired Nathaniel Hackett because he was Aaron's favorite. He wasn't the coordinator. He was the quarterback coach.
Yeah.
He wasn't even the play caller. He was actually, his job was to keep Aaron happy and make him laugh. And I think Nathaniel did that at a very high level because Aaron spoke glowingly of Nathaniel.
Right.
So didn't Bronco Nation think,
I believe
didn't John
did.
Elway think there's a real shot we're going to land Aaron Rodgers?
Well, I'm going to land him first.
Okay.
I'll let you captain. Hey, no. Bring me the ship, and then I'll let you captain the boat. I'm not going to say, I'm not going to make you a captain, and then you don't have the ship. And that's what happened, Skip. I believe you're absolutely right. I believe they thought they could get Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers would want Nathaniel Hackett. He would be very familiar with the system, and everything would be hunky-dory. Well, you don't get Aaron Rodgers. You get a coach that seems that he's over his head.
I think he's
and now
over
you
his
got a guy that seems like he's on a major decline. Russell Wilson looked like he stepped off a cliff.
So your team was desperate, and Russ was desperate to get out of Seattle, and it was a match made in hell because neither side was going for the right reasons for each other.
I don't believe Russ was anxious to get out of Seattle. I think Russ he was anxious to get to a contract extension.
Well, but I mean, he wanted love. He wanted late career love from somebody, and all of a sudden, Bronco Nation says, we'll take you.
Yeah.
We'll love you. We'll hug you.
Yeah.
We'll embrace you.
The worst thing you can do is to get into a relationship because you're lonely.
That is correct.
Bad boy.
I agree.
Your boy know a little something about that, but that's not the other thing. But here's the thing. Now it's becoming more and more apparent to me that Russ was propped up by Legion of Boone in that running game because I've seen that when he doesn't have that, he looks like that. I don't know who that is. That's an imposter. Will the real Russell Wilson, Skip, you remember the game show To Tell the Truth? Yeah. They had three guys, only one person, three people up there. Yep. Only one was who they said they were.
Will the real?
Will the real